Okay, hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is OG Reflections. I'm a content creator, an English writer, an English teacher, and on this channel I make a lot of content that is motivational, inspirational. As I said, I'm keeping myself busy, I'm staying productive, and I'm hopefully sharing some of my experience and some of my knowledge with the world. And today I want to talk about something that happened to me, and it's layered. To be honest, there are many reasons why I want to mention it. First of all, because it's one of the things that I constantly asked God for, and Alhamdulillah, after many years, it actually came true, all by the grace of God. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So it's a long story. So I'm gonna start right from the scratch. It was 2015, believe it or not, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 2015, summer of 2015, that I started having eye problems, severe eye problems. And when I say eye problems, I don't mean like vision problems. Okay, a lot of people, for example, they wear glasses to fix their vision problems. Obviously, I used to wear eyeglasses before it, but that is not the main problem. Okay, and in general I am partially colorblind. Okay, so I mix between some colors, blues and purples, reds and browns and greens, stuff like that. But all of these are not the problems. The main problem I wanted to talk about, or the main problem that happened to me, to be honest, and it is I'm not sure, not even sure if it's got a name, because a lot of people will name it something different. Some people call it computer eye syndrome, some people call it dry eye syndrome, but I think it's something like that. Dry eye syndrome, dry eyes. Okay, and generally a lot of people nowadays they say yes, my eyes are dry, my eyes are dry, but with all due respect, this is nothing compared to what I suffered. Okay, you may, or people that say, for example, they have dry eyes, they may suffer some symptoms that are like dependent on how much they use the computer or the phone or whatever. No, but I had a severe case. Okay, it started in 2015, as I said, over the summer, because I always used the computer, right? But in 2015, I went I went nuts, to be honest. I went crazy. I was really just using every second, to be honest, on the computer. Believe it or not, doing what? I was reading. Okay, so it's actually a benefit. I was reading, but I was reading on the computer. Okay, I was reading on the computer, and like the PDF file, I used to make it scroll automatically, so without even me touching the buttons, it was just scrolling automatically on its own. In other words, your eyes were doing like that all the time. And I must have read, I don't know, anywhere from 20 to 50 books, and over that summer, 2015, English and Arabic, and one of the books could have been 2,000 pages long anyway, right? So I really read, by the grace of God, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Obviously, I gained a lot of knowledge, I gained a lot of experience, I gained a lot of it was religious stuff. So I I read the Bible, believe it or not. I read other religious texts. I read the Quran in English. I read other religious texts, other religious books from Hinduism and Buddhism, and all of this stuff. I read all the hadiths books, all the main ones, right? Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Sahih Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, all of the main ones, to be honest. I think the six main books. I read a lot. Okay? So I destroyed my eyes, to be honest. I absolutely destroyed my eyes. And the thing is, whilst I was at home in front of the screen, I didn't feel any problems, right? I didn't feel any pain or anything. But it's actually when I went down in the street, that's when I realized, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, my eyes were absolutely in excruciating pain. How can I describe it? Imagine, I can't even do it, right? Because I'm holding two things. But imagine if your eyes are opened at the fullest. Okay, like this. Okay, your eyes are open at the fullest, and you're not allowed to shut them. You're not allowed to shut your eyes. You're not allowed to blink. and there's a fan, a full blast, a fan that's full blast right in front of your face, right in front of your eyes, blowing, blowing constantly into your eyes. Okay, how would you feel? And you're not allowed to blink. You're not allowed to shut your eyes. Okay, someone's opened up your eyes at the at the fullest, the fullest extent, and you can't shut your eyes. You can't shut your eyes. Absolutely excruciating pain. It's physically the most pain I've ever felt in my entire life, and Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. Again, I'm not victimizing myself, and I'm not, I'm just sharing. Okay, I'm just sharing. Um, so it was absolutely painful. I couldn't open my eyes. My eyes were suffering for 10 years now. But all by the grace of God. So, okay, anyway, so that was the problem. Okay, so now we need to find the solution. What was the solution? So I went to, I don't know, count as many as you can, right? I went to at least 10 doctors, 10 different opticians, trying out everything. I tried out so many eye drops, like at least 10 different types of eye drops. One of them that were lubricants, one of them that were just for refreshing, and one of them that had, extra whatever in it. Trying out everything. Okay, and the opticians, they themselves didn't know, right? They were just trying out their luck. Okay, because they were like, okay, we tried these drops, they're not working, they're not working. I was in absolute pain. My eyes were on fire. Imagine your eyes are on fire. Absolutely painful. And anyway, what else did I try? Yes, so obviously I paid a lot of money. I went to so many opticians, they didn't help. I paid so much money, obviously, for the eye drops. The eye drops didn't help either. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of God. What else, Ya Rabbi? I tried to make new different glasses, eyeglasses. I got a new pair of eyeglasses. I got a new pair of sunglasses, photochromic sunglasses that changed. So they were eyeglasses and they would turn, I think, brown in the sun. And I bought another a third and fourth type. I can't remember, but yeah, there was another one that actually shipped from abroad, from America, and they were called moisture chamber eyeglasses. Basically, they were like that. Like the swimming goggles, They were wrapped around my eyes. In other words, why? To make sure that the dust and to make sure that the wind doesn't affect my eyes, because obviously the heat and the dust and the wind dries out any tears that I have in my eyes, or any moisture, any water, any tears or lubrication that I have in my eyes. So I bought these glasses, and they helped. They were a little bit helpful, a little bit. They weren't the best. But they were a little bit helpful. But I was still in so much pain. So much pain. Of course, how did this affect me? After a while, obviously, I couldn't even move my eyes. I couldn't even move my face. It affected my facial expressions, of course. And that's the thing, because when people don't understand something, they're gonna judge. So a lot of people would say, "Oh my God, why are you not smiling?" Well, I can't smile because I'm in so much pain. I can't smile because I'm in so much pain, because I can't physically smile. It affected my eyes. It affected my facial muscles. It affected my whole entire face. Right? It was as if my face was lagging. Right? Or people are like, "Oh my God, you shut your eyes. You blinked a lot. You blinked when you were smiling. You blinked when you were in the picture. Okay, you ruined the picture because you were blinking. What else am I supposed to do?" It's like going, God forbid, it's like asking a cancer patient, "Why did you shave your head?" Right? You don't know anything about cancer, and you go to a cancer patient and you ask them, "Why did you shave your head? It doesn't look nice in the picture." God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. I'm not comparing myself to anything, but it's just like, do you understand? You don't understand the pain, or whoever said these lovely words, they don't understand the pain. They don't understand the reason why someone is who they are. So better not judge, out of respect, for God's sake. Okay. Other people, I'd go to interviews, and again, the people tell me, "Why are you wearing these glasses?" Other people in the street, honestly, because I was wearing, they looked like swimming goggles, as I said. Okay, but I have to wear them because they're affecting my eyes. Other people in the street, random strangers, would say, "Ha ha 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 ha, good luck swimming." Say hi to the shark. They're making fun, of course, which is incredibly rude, and it's I mean, obviously it's a joke, right? But I mean, I joke about it now, but it's just incredibly disrespectful, and it's incredibly selfish of people of people not to understand other people's pain, other people's misery, other people's reasons for who they are, what they are. Okay, so again, never, 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 never victimize yourself. I'm not victimizing myself. It's just that it's better not to interfere in other people's business, because it's not a competition of who has more problems. Okay, because nobody understood, and because people ask me all these silly questions. Oh, why are you not smiling? Why are you wearing these glasses? Why do you blink a lot? Why did you ruin the picture? And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand 1%. You haven't suffered the same. I'm telling you, my eyes are on fire, for God's sake. My eyes are on fire. I can't open my eyes. Anyway, after that, I did an operation, believe it or not. I did an operation in my eyes where there's something called tear ducts, I think, or tear plugs. Because basically, this is, for example, this is your eye, right? Every eye has 4 tear ducts. Okay, so two at the top and 2 at the bottom. Okay, and alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah. But I went to the optician, and I decided, like, we did some sort of operation where I put, the doctor obviously put 2 plugs, one here and one here, one here and one here, right? Why? To stop the tears from going down. So basically, the tears that come up from here, they go down there. But we sort of plugged the 2 here and the 2 here. In other words, why? It's as if your eye would have more moisture inside. Okay, so whatever water was available, whatever eye tears were inside, they would stay longer. Okay, and they would dry up later. Okay, obviously I did an operation on that, and after I did it, the doctor said, I told him, to be honest, I don't feel any difference. I still feel pain. I don't feel as if we did anything. Right after I did it, the guy said, I haven't. He told me that I haven't seen eyes like yours in 50 years. Now, doesn't that make me feel special? Is it? I haven't seen anyone like that in 50 years. I haven't seen eyes like yours in 50 years. That's after the operation is telling me that. In other words, khalas, what was done was done. And he just recommended me to another doctor, and then another doctor would recommend me to another doctor, and nobody knew anything, to be honest. Because as I said here, there's a lot of people that can suffer, vision problems, or a lot of people do the LASIK, that's for vision. But what I was suffering was dry eye syndrome, extreme dry eye syndrome. Basically, I didn't have anything in my eyes, no water at all. Anyway, and obviously because there was no solution, I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it because complaining, showing that you're suffering, people don't understand, people are not going to help. So I learned to stop complaining. And alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, people that know me even now, this was 10 years ago, people that know me, they haven't mentioned it. They've never mentioned, like, they noticed anything different about my eyes, which alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, I take that as a privilege, because as I said, you have to succeed without asking for special treatment. Okay, a cancer patient, God forbid, doesn't need to say that he's a cancer patient. Okay, any person suffering from any deformity or any problem doesn't have to actually say, guys, look at me, okay, have pity on me, okay, guys, help me, simply because he's got a problem. So, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah, I had to cope, I had to deal with it, I had to survive and just do the best I could. And that was when I graduated and I started working. And of course, you need to work, and working kills your eyes. Working kills your eyes, especially teaching and dealing with kids, because I was dealing with 9-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds. As soon as I started teaching for the first 2 or 3 years at least, just mainly teaching kids. Um, so it was extremely painful, but believe it or not, God bless, I had a student, and he was a bit older. He was roughly 18 years old. He recommended another type of eyeglasses called anti-blue light. Anti-blue light. So I dropped the moisture chamber ones, the ones that were like the goggles, and I bought another anti-blue light glasses, which helped, alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, a little bit. Okay, but it's still like this helping is relative. So obviously, when my eye problem started in 2015, it was 100% painful. 5 million% painful. That's a percentage, right? Like 10 out of 10. That was the pain. And then after I bought, okay, it was 9 months later. It was in 2016. 9 months later, or a year later, whatever it was, in 2016, that I bought the anti-blue light glasses, which of course they help in front of the computer and stuff like that. I'd say the pain was roughly 7 out of 10, not 10 out of 10. It was 7 out of 10. But of course, I developed my own system, which I sort of became. If you if you think about it, I became a professional. Alhamdulillah, even more than the opticians. I became a professional in this specific problem more than opticians. Simply why? Because I've experienced. The opticians, alhamdulillah, they know like information from the books and whatever, blah blah blah. But I actually, I suffered the problem by the grace of God, alhamdulillah. So I had first-hand experience. So so constantly, yeah, you have to drink water all the time, and people that know me, they know that I drink water, like between lectures and between lessons and stuff like that. Constantly drinking water. As soon as you wake up, you have to drink fresh juice, fresh orange juice. What else? You have to wash your face constantly all the time. You have to cup your eyes with the water. You have to yawn. Believe it or not, yawning like that helps all the time. What else? Try to avoid the AC, of course. Try to avoid the fan, sitting in front of the fan, in front of the AC, all of this stuff. All that, alhamdulillah, just to have some relief. All of these things would keep it, what, instead of 10 out of 10 pain, it would be 9 out of 10 pain or 8 out of 10 pain. Okay, and I bought an eye massager, and I would take naps in the middle of the day, simply just to refresh my eyes again. Anyway, so as I said, in 2016, I bought these anti-blue light glasses that helped, and the pain was sort of 7 out of 10. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. Why? Because simply I was pleading for help and complaining and in extreme pain that no one else will ever experience or ever understand. Only people can judge. So alhamdulillah, and I got used to it because I have to work, I have to get money, right? Any negative words that people said, or any negative remarks about my face or about my eyes or about how I'm not smiling or lacking emotion, I just had to ignore, in one ear out the other, because people, they will never ever understand. Okay, and of course that's why I avoided a lot of contact with people in general. I avoided a lot of contact with people in general, because when I'm with people, then of course you have to smile, you have to joke, you have to laugh, you have to use you have to use your face, you have to talk, you have to obviously eye contact, and this absolutely hurt my eyes. It's the worst physical pain that I've ever experienced in my entire life. So that's why I avoided people, and I became more reclusive, which again people love to comment, oh my god, why are you so quiet, why are you so mysterious, why don't you talk with us, why don't blah blah blah, why don't people love to judge, people love to judge. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. لكن يعني وأفوض أمري إلى الله. Only God knows best, and I don't need to prove it, because God knows, right? God knows, God understands, God knows my pain, and only God knows. Anyone else, they can judge all they care, all they want, for all I care. Anyway, Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God. What else? Anyway, believe it or not, during COVID, during coronavirus, starting possibly 2021, 2021, I was teaching at uni at that time, and obviously because of it was coronavirus and stuff like that, I was wearing the face mask, the face mask over your face. Now, when you're teaching at university wearing a face mask, at that time obviously I was teaching people physically, face to face, and also online. So because some of the students would be online, whereas the other half would be face to face. So I'm multitasking, because I have, for example, I have the phone in my hand. Okay, I have the phone in my hand. I have the speakers in my ears. I have the face mask on my face. Okay, and I have the glasses on my eyes. Okay, and I'm looking to people face to face, and I'm teaching online, and I'm looking at the phone, and I'm doing so many different things with all my senses, my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my ears, my hand, everything. But you know what? I actually preferred wearing the face mask. I don't know why. Face masks, or the face mask at that time, it helped, because again, you didn't. Um, how can I explain it? There weren't a lot of facial expressions that were needed. Okay, as I said, my face was destroyed. My face was absolutely in agony, and my muscles, I couldn't move my muscles around my eyes. Okay. Yes. By the way, I forgot to mention. Yes, in 2019, I also I did like a Botox thing. I did a Botox, but not for beauty features, of course. This was recommended by the optician. Botox and injections around my eyes. I had so many needles and injections, like 10 different injections around my right eye and around my left eye with the needles, injecting Botox to make my eyes fixed. Okay, because I was excessively blinking. So to make my eyes like a stone, basically, not be able to move. But that even hurt more. That hurt more, because now I wanted to shut my eyes, but I couldn't. So that, oh my god, that was extremely painful. Anyway, let's go back to 2021. As I said, when I was wearing the face mask, and because I'm wearing the face mask, so the facial expressions, obviously, nobody can see my facial expressions. And because I'm wearing the face mask and the glasses, so the glasses would fog up. When the glasses are were a bit foggy, and so I couldn't see. So I had to take off the glasses, put them on the desk or the table, whatever, and I only had the face mask. So I took off the glasses, and lo and behold, I don't know why, but I just sort of got used to teaching without glasses, and I could be able to smile more, even though people couldn't see my smile, but they could see my eyes smiling. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's more psychological also, because I just sort of felt as if my smile was ugly. To be honest, I felt as if my smile was ugly because of my face, because of the problems I had all over my face, right? But because I'm wearing the face mask, so I could smile easier. And as I said, I took off the glasses, so I got used to teaching without glasses. And after a while, after coronavirus, after COVID was no longer needed, I took off the face mask as well. So in other words, I got used to, I don't know, I could smile more, I could breathe more, my eyes could breathe more. I got used to teaching once again without the glasses and without the face mask. In other words, just like I am now, just my face like this. And subhanallah, 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 but the pain was a little bit less. It was still there, but I would say maybe 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10 painful. Alhamdulillah, 2022. That's when I started. I used to exercise always from home, but in 2022, I started running every day. Okay, I started running every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. And when I say running, I mean like Scooby-Doo running. You know, Scooby-Doo running, as if I'm running in my place at home, not in the streets. So I would be running, for example, even if I'm watching the TV or the computer or whatever, I would be running in my spot. Okay, a bit like a fitness. And I remember I ran for 9 days, and for these 9 days my eyes were okay. I didn't feel any pain. And then as soon as I stopped on the 10th day, the 10th night, my eyes were hurting. So I was like, okay, from now on, I'm just gonna run every day. And so alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, I decided every night, even before I go to bed or whatever, 5 minutes, I need to run. I need to run. Anyway, all of these are the physical things that happened, the physical improvement, the physical ways of overcoming a problem. But of course, let's not forget the religious part, because obviously, I would give out. This is also a part of my. We were talking about the religious part. I would give out, alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah, some charity money with this intention. Obviously, alhamdulillah, I had gone to Mecca before it in 2017, and I asked God also, made dua, obviously, to help my eyes. And maybe even possibly in 2023, I remember in Ramadan 2023 that I prayed, I can't remember how many prayers, but I would pray, like for example, if you're praying for your mom, or you're praying for your dad, or your whatever, so the salah itself, right? Pray a prayer, for an extra prayer, sunnah prayer, pray an extra prayer, and then I would do it with a certain intention. You understand? So meaning what? Meaning I'm gonna pray one prayer, and then after it I'm gonna make dua for my mom. I'm gonna pray one prayer, and then I'm gonna make dua after it for my dad, and so on. I don't know how many prayers, specifically with the intention of my eyes. Okay, and that's the thing. I never said, for example, or obviously I did, but I mean, well, there's no such thing as black or white. It's either healed, my eyes are healed, 0 out of 10 pain, no pain at all, or completely painful, 10 out of 10. Any improvement, as I said, even if it's a grayscale is improvement. So I would say اللهم خفف عني ألم عيني اللهم خفف عني اللهم إني أسألك التخفيف. So even if there is pain, بس اللهم خفف عني هذا الألم. اللهم اشف عيني اللهم اشف عيني اللهم عافني في بصري اللهم عافني في عيني. Right? This is what I would ask for, but mainly تخفيف. Okay, because I sort of accepted that this is something خلاص that I'll have to suffer, and I'll have to have this eye problem for the rest of my life. خلاص, because I did everything, and I did everything. But as I said, these simple things, plus specifically this dua, اللهم خفف عني ألم عيني, and giving out money, charity money, but alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Here's the thing, hopefully that may be a little bit of an advice. For example, if you have, I don't know, if you have, which just like this, I had a problem with my eyes, so I would give out money to a specific hospital, for example, for eye problems as well. Do you understand? Or people that have to do eye operations or whatever. You understand? So the same thing, like for example, you want to, any specific intention, try to give this money, okay, try to give out money, charity money, to someone else who needs the same thing, who has the same problem. You understand? So I would give out money specifically, alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, alhamdulillah, mashallah, Allahu Akbar, la quwwata illa billah, to people, for example, who have eye problems. Alhamdulillah, فضل ربنا سبحانه وتعالى, الحمد رب العالمين. And I would say, اللهم خفف عني ألم عيني, اللهم خفف عني ألم عيني, اللهم خفف عني ألم عيني. You know, Allah, please make my eyes pains just a little bit easier, just a little bit less severe, just a little bit more, just a little bit better, okay, so that I can endure it. So, and lo and behold, alhamdulillah, بفضل ربنا سبحانه وتعالى, الحمد رب العالمين, now I can humbly say that the pain, I would say, is, I mean, it's still there, and I still blink. People that know me well, obviously, they see that I still blink, and I still feel some pain and stuff like that. But to be honest, I never imagined it would be this good. I would say it's probably 2, maybe 2 out of 10, 2 or 3 out of 10, pain-wise. So, and not only that, but I can smile again. And I can, you know, alhamdulillah, I try to smile all the time, and I try to be pleasant, and I try to be nice, and people have said nice things about the way I smile, for example, or something. So I'm infinitely grateful, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I'm very grateful, alhamdulillah, to this problem, and I'm very grateful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has helped and has healed, because as I said, it wasn't just the eye problem, it was the face muscles, you know, which now I feel as if I have my face muscles again, so I can express and I can, you know, smile and move my face and all of this stuff, all by the grace of God, all by the grace of God, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah, 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 mashallah, Allahu Akbar, all by the grace of God. Anyway, so why am I mentioning this? As I said, number one is to not judge. Please don't judge problems. Please don't judge other people's problems. If you don't understand, then ask. If you don't, then obviously ask, but ask in a nice way. If you don't understand, then don't judge. Don't presume. Don't make it uncomfortable to people. Okay? Number two, it's never a competition. It's never a competition of who has it worse. Okay? When someone says they suffered dry eye syndrome or whatever problem, don't you go and say, yes, I have dry eyes as well. Okay? No. Okay, maybe you have some dry eyes, maybe once every 5 years, but it's not a condition. Okay? It's not a competition of who has it worse. Wallahi, it's not a competition of who has it worse. Okay? When people talk to you about their pain, you respect, you listen. Okay? If people trust you enough to talk about it, then you should listen, not judge, not give your advice, not give your shallow remarks, not give your judgments. Okay? Number 3, don't complain to strangers. Okay? As I said, here I'm not here I'm sharing, but this is something that happened like 10 years ago, and alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, I'm just sharing. I'm never complaining, and I never complained. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of God, alhamdulillah, 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 alhamdulillah. Okay? So, especially at work, or especially with people that aren't very close, it's not a competition of who has it worse. It's not a competition of his problems and her problems and his problems. Okay? Work isn't a place to talk about problems. If people are quiet by themselves, then respect their silence. Respect they may have problems. Respect that they want to go to work to forget about their problems, not to talk about their problems. Okay? The whole world would be a lot better if people went to work just to do their work. Why? To forget their problems, okay? Not to talk about their problems, okay? It's not a competition. Alhamdulillah, all by the grace of Allah. And number four, as I said, baby steps. Baby steps, baby steps, and miracles do happen, okay? There are physical ways to solve a problem, and there are also religious ways, as I said, to solve a problem. Physical ways, as I said, buying new glasses, getting the eye drops, going to different opticians, trying out my luck with different things, okay? And then the religious part, obviously, which is doing a Umrah, for example, asking specifically, giving out charity money, and that is it. So, so this is everything that I wanted to share today regarding this problem. Um, yeah, this is everything I needed to share about this problem. Whatever problem that you face, I'm just sharing this so that you may be influenced, hopefully, or be motivated. Whatever problem you have, to deal with it in the same way. Okay, keep it to yourself. Okay, keep it with your friends or family. Don't talk about it to strangers. Okay, and more importantly, keep it between yourself and God. Okay, do what you can do physically to be able to solve the problem, and and don't forget, obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? The religious part, the dua, the supplication, the charity money, and whatnot. And I can humbly say, alhamdulillah, 10 years later, things have improved. It's still there, and I'll probably still have it till the end of my life, this problem, but I can endure it, I can live with it, and alhamdulillah, I learned a lot from it. And the pain, as I said, it's probably 2 out of 10, 2 or 3 out of 10. Sometimes it goes high, sometimes it goes even less. But alhamdulillah, it's all these different struggles and pains, even if they're physical pains, that make us the people who we are. So yes, alhamdulillah, this is everything that I needed to say for today. Um, that's it. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Good, good, good.